All right. I always forget to kill this light. That's better. All right, so we're live, and I'll see if anybody jumps in here. I'm going to grab what I've been working on. Well, I guess first we can go through the the live stream project that I've been working on. So if you've watched the live streams before, you've seen this guy before. This is a TRX4 chassis. This whole thing started because I bought this thing. So this is a TRX4 transmission that I got from Jenny's RC. The reason that I got it is because my TRX4 Sport was making a clicking sound, and I thought there was something wrong with the transmission. And I looked into, like buying replacement gear sets and stuff like that. And then Crawler Canyon actually talks about Jenny's RC quite a bit. And I was unfamiliar with him until I found Crawler Canyon. And he was talking about, I think maybe GTS shocks, the TRX4 Sport shocks. And they're really good shocks. I've bought several sets now from Jenny's. I've got them on Sport, which he came with them, so it doesn't really count. Hey, Tilted Tomsky. I've got Traxxas GTS shocks on Crash. I've got them on, I think that's it. Yeah, but I've got another couple extra sets too. So I really like the Traxxas GTS shocks, but I got on Jenny's RC, and I bought this because it was cheaper to buy this from Jenny's than it was to buy a new, gears for a TRX4 transmission from Traxxas or A-Main or anybody like that. So I just bought them. I just bought the whole transmission. Well, then I tore that transmission down, cleaned it up, looked at all the gears. Nothing was broken. I couldn't find anything wrong with it. So I re-greased it and put it back together, and it's worked fine ever since. So I didn't need this transmission. But the problem with that is, I don't know about you guys, but if I have a part, it becomes a build. So that's what this is all about. So this is the build that we're doing for the live streams. There's a couple changes, I guess. So I went ahead and put a tray back here. It's just a piece of Kydex, and then this is the flat skid that I got off eBay to put a flat skid into a TRX4 Sport. It had some big, chunky 3D printed pieces back here. So I just drilled some holes in a piece of Kydex, measured it out, and then I've got Velcro on there so we can slap the battery down on it. So that's one change. I think that's the only change on the chassis side for now. Well, let me grab the big change. So this is the big change. Tilted Tomsky, you can get it. I get mine from it's like a knife. You can get it on Amazon. If you just type in Kydex sheet, it'll pull it up. You can get it in different thicknesses. For something like that, I think this is 0.060 is what this thickness is. You can get it in like 030, 060, and 090 maybe. 090 is pretty thick. So it's kind of hard to work with because you can heat it and form it. So you can heat it with a heat gun, and it'll take on any shape. So that's what I would do. If you're going to do it on the bottom of a canoe, I would put the canoe upside down, and then take a heat gun and heat that Kydex up until it starts to kind of bend, and then slap it where you want it and hold it down in place so that it takes, if you've got, I'm sure the hull's got some kind of taper to it or something, get it to where it matches that taper. As far as applying it though, like you're not going to want to drill holes in your in your kayak, I'm guessing. So I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't know if like shoe goo or something would hold it on pretty well. I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe if you scratch the surfaces up, roughed them up a little bit and put some shoe goo on there, and then was it you're able to like clamp it down or something? Yeah, silicone, something like that. That would probably work. I mean, I guess you could drill holes and do screws and bolts and then seal the holes up real good, but yeah, it's super tough stuff. Kydex is super tough stuff, and I love it. I use it for all kinds of stuff. I used to make pistol holsters and knife sheaths and stuff out of it too. So it's a it's a pretty it's pretty easy to work with. You can heat it up in a toaster oven if you're using small pieces, or you can heat it up with a heat gun until it bends, and then you can form it in any shape you want to. It forms really easy, and then once it's cool, it's rigid. So yeah, it's a good. I mean, between Kydex and Delrin, like those are my two favorite things. Like this, I made this piece back here out of Delrin. Delrin's fantastic for RC parts. For these kind of trucks. It slides well. It takes threads well. So it's a pretty cool material too. And then aluminum. I use a lot of build aluminum sliders and junk like that. Back there in that corner, it's some aluminum. But yeah, Kydex is cool. Yes, Delrin is super slippery. It is. And a lot of the like super fancy aftermarket skids are made out of Delrin. Now they're like precision machined, and you can get pretty good. Like there's 4 holes in this piece, right? And it's cut to size. So I didn't machine any crazy parts into it, but you can, if you have a drill press with a vise, you can drill it straight. It taps really easy. Um, so it's a good material. Cutting it's pretty easy too. You can cut it with a jigsaw, cut it with a circular saw. I guess I mean you cut it with a hacksaw, I'm sure too, or probably even a regular crosscut saw like a wood saw. But anyway, the big difference here is not this guy, because we already know that I had this. So again, this is a parts build. So I think I'm gonna, which is kind of traditional on these. I think I'm gonna hack this off, at that bumper line or at that grill line, because these bumpers are just too big and they stick down too low. So we'll probably get rid of that. But he's bolted in right now in place, so I can kind of use him to figure out on the chassis where he's going to sit. And I used it to move my shock towers to approximately, hopefully, roughly the right position. But he's got a windshield and like the whole interior, or the whole inside. So it's all bolted in place, windows, front and back, and side. So, and I don't know if this part is for this or not, to be honest with you. This is what I got: RC 4-wheel drive, and it says it's for the Toyota Hilux, which this is called the Mojave 2. Now, obviously, it is a Toyota, pickup, but I don't know if those are the same things or not. So it barely fits. The holes do line up for the most part. This hole wasn't in it, which I thought was weird. So that hole, this hole, all 3 of these lined up perfect. There was no hole here, or no spot where you would drill a hole. There weren't actually holes in it, but there were marks, you know what I mean, where you could tell that it was made for that. This one wasn't in it though. So I don't know if I think they make a different body now. I think the newest Toyota pickups that RC 4-wheel drive is making are actually called a Hilux, or I think it's called a Hilux. Or maybe it's just Toyota pickup. I can't read it because I don't have my glasses on. Oh, my glasses are right there. I can see them. So I can read it. Toyota pickup. Oh, it says Toyota pickup / Mojave 2 and Tamiya Hilux. So it is made for it. There you go. Just answered my own question. It is made for it, but it's not easy to get in there. There's a lot of trimming required, like a whole bunch. So if you're going to do it, I would say go slow. Don't go past any of the lines. And then once you get it down to where the lines are, try to get it in there. And when you can't, then start trimming where you're getting interference, because that's how I had to do it. It was kind of a pain, to be honest with you. And as you can see, I've still got to take it back out and pull the overspray mask off of it. So, anyway, I didn't want to pull that overspray mask off until I had it fitted. And then once I got it fitted, I didn't want to take it back out because it's pain. So we'll get to it. The next thing is I got the bracketry. So this bracket goes down in there and holds the hood to the front. That way I can lose this bottom piece down here that I was talking about, so I can cut this off. And this is all it's holding it in right now are these screws down here. So once I get that bracket installed, I can chop that off, and then it will still hold the grill in place. So that was a important part that I needed and finally got. RC four-wheel drive is slow, man. I mean, I didn't buy it from RC four-wheel drive. I think I got it from A-Main, but still, it takes forever to get anything from those guys. But this is the big one. So this is Shrink RC. Yeah, you got a 10 scale? That's awesome, man. So it's kind of like I started with 10 scale because when I started, like back in 2018, there weren't any 24 scales. Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I guess there might have been, but I didn't know about them. I think they're fairly new. And I really like the 24 scale stuff. It's fun. I think the other reason I like it is because it's relatively cheap compared to the 10 scale stuff. So like, you can get a whole 24 scale truck for $150, and some of the motors that we put in 10 scale trucks are $150. So, it's a little cheaper to get into it and to really customize and really like make them good performers. It's less money because if you get a TRX4 Sport, yeah, you can take a bunch of them with you too. That's true. Yeah. And it's really hard to take multiple 10 scales. And you can crawl in a lot more places with a 24 scale too, because you don't need a huge, pile of rocks. You just need a few little rocks and you're crawling, right? So I think they both have advantages for sure. I like them both. The thing that frustrates me about the 24 scale stuff is it's just too damn small. Like my hands are too big. My fingers are, it's like, I have to, that's when I break out the tweezers and the glasses, and that's how I have to work on 24 scale stuff, is a lot of tweezers and I can only do it for so long before I just get kind of frustrated with it and I have to back off and go back to the 10 scale stuff. But anyway, so Shrink RC, and these are the boat sides and body mounts, so I can put these onto this chassis, and because they are made for the TRX4 chassis, and then I'll be able to mount this body on the chassis. And I think I'm going to have to lose those bumper mounts. I may have to look around. I know that some people are doing some 3D printed stuff for TRX4, so, and then I may just make them out of Delrin if I need to. I mean, it's not that big a deal. So we can figure out a way to get bumpers on it, but and maybe, I don't know, maybe he will be bumperless for a while. So, but anyway, that's kind of the update on this guy. So this is the, live stream build. I'm not going to do anything with him tonight because I wanted to show you something else that I've been working on, and I will set this aside and then be right back with that. So this is the Phoenix, and I don't know what all we're going to do with him. I don't know what we're going to call him yet. He is unnamed. Yeah, the Fordyce is a good one too. So this was a kit build. So I think the Fordyce is only RTR, if I'm remembering that right. So the Fordyce I think is a Phoenix that's a RTR, or maybe they make the RTR. They make the Phoenix an RTR too, I think. I don't know. I don't know that much about the Phoenix Fordyce thing. I don't know that much about Vanquish, to be honest with you. I mean, I know there's guys that are super into it. I've got two of them now. I've got Sky Knight, which is the VRD straight axle kit. He's got a cliffhanger body on him, white. If you watch the channel, you've seen him. So this Phoenix is Portal. So maybe that's the difference. The Fordyce is straight and the Phoenix is Portal. Maybe that's the difference. But yeah, so this was the kit. This was the Phoenix Portal kit. And we got him painted up, and we got, I got some extra mirrors, and I don't even know. We did the gas cap on the side there. I always put antennas on them because I'm a dork. But we got the little hood latches too. So those are fun. But set that aside for a second. So this is it's a VS410, right? So it's a Portal VS410. So as far as I understand it, this is the same as the Origin. If it had portals, I think the Origins are straight axled, or the Classics maybe are straight axled. But the way I understand it is this is the same setup as you would have with kind of any of the VS410 vehicles, right? Some are portaled, some are straight axle, but the rest of it is the same. I did add some rear inner fenders, so it came with the front inner fenders. I added the rear inner fenders because it is going to be a trail truck. I'm trying to keep it clean-ish up on the inside. It's got the receiver box in the back. You can see I've got the wires covered in some heat shrink to just make them black so they don't look quite as bad going back through the bed there. I did go ahead and set up all the servos. So these are just cheapy Anjoras. So the half height, 22 kg. So the like $17 or something. They're the cheapies. They don't say that they're waterproof. But we're going to test that theory. We're going to find out if they are or not. So I expect this guy to get in some water for sure. We also have the 22 kg. It's the winch version. It's a half height too, so it's the same servo as the others, but it's a winch, so it's 360. We got our winch hook coming out the front there. I had to make this little fair lead because the fair lead that's built into the bumper is too wide, and the hook will just go right through it. So we got the Incision Light kit. This is I think it's a Power Hobby. Yeah, it's a Power Hobby, 45 kg for the steering. Chassis mounted steering. It's got short shocks, which I didn't realize. It's like 80 millimeter shocks. I'm used to 85s and 90s. So I just did the wheels and tires that came with it. I did do Crawler Canyon custom foams in it, which I do on all my trail trucks. So they work well for that. But he's stock. I did do some different diff covers, Cobra Crawler, I think they're called. So he's got metal diff covers. And it's got a Holmes 2-in-1 in it, which. So I'm from Missouri, live in Missouri, born and raised. I've always lived in Missouri. Love the state. It's a great place. And as most of you probably know, Holmes is in Columbia, Missouri. I also have ties to Columbia, Missouri. I'm a Mizzou alum. I went to school there, lived there for several years. Great place. And I've had many Holmes Hobbies products over the years. And I wish that I could say, I wish everything that I had was Holmes Hobbies powered, right? Like, I wish I just had all their servos and all of their motors, and because if I could, I would, because they're hometown, you know what I mean? Hometown. He seems like a real nice guy. I've never met him, but John Holmes seems like a super nice guy. I love it. I love everything about it. It's a Missouri thing. It's a Columbia thing. It's a small business in this genre, in this niche. So I would love to buy everything from Holmes, but and their brush motors, I don't have a single bad thing to say about their brush motors. I've had several; they work great. Um, I'm just not really into brush motors anymore. I want a brushless system, right? And since the Hobbywing Fusions came out with the FOC and how well they work, it's like, I mean, I don't know how you, I don't know how you could justify doing anything else unless you had a super short uh, placement and you needed an outrunner, right? And if that's the case, I would say go with Holmes because they've come out with new, they've come out with new ESCs now. Because when I was doing the Holmes hobbies thing in the outrunners, like in 2018, 2019, they were crazy loud and they made a horrible noise. Everybody knew from 2 blocks away if you were running a Holmes outrunner in your crawler at the time because they just made this horrific sound whenever they would run. Real high pitched, whiny noise, and it was terrible. And I had a couple of them. I hated them because they sounded terrible. Nobody wanted to ever crawl with me because they hated the sound of them because they sounded terrible. So, I mean, but that was that was it. You had either a Castle ESC, like a Micro Mamba or Mamba X, or you had a Holmes, but they both sounded, they both did that high pitched whine thing. So, I kind of got out of it because I just got tired of hearing it. I didn't like it. So I got rid of those and went to end runners, mostly brushless end runners. So, but now my understanding is that Holmes makes an ESC with an outrunner that doesn't make that crazy noise. So if that's what you need, if you need a short motor, to fit in a certain application, then I would say, yeah, Holmes is a good option. But this 2-in-1 is not, so it doesn't have drag brake. It doesn't have active drag brake. And I looked up his videos and I went through it the way that he, tells you to. And if you put this truck on a hill and allow it to throttle, it rolls backwards. And it's jumpy. So in its forward motion, it's not smooth. Um, I think Hobbywing has just nailed it. I mean, they've got FOC. It works. It's got a wicked drag brake that never slides. It never rolls back. Um, and I don't know if there's like patents involved with that, so Holmes can't do a drag brake in FOC the way that Hobbywing has done it. Um, I don't know why these can't be basically the same as the Hobbywing, but they're not. So, um, but yeah, if this was as good as a Hobbywing, SE or Pro, whatever, a Fusion, a Hobbywing Fusion, if it was as good, even if it was $20 more, I would say buy this one because again, it's a Missouri guy, small business, everything about it. I love it, but I just don't. I mean, for a trail truck, it's going to be great. For a trail truck, it's going to be fine. I don't need massive amounts of drag brake. Um, I don't need it to be super smooth at startup, and but for a rock crawler, like a dedicated rock crawler, I would say go with the Hobbywing, unfortunately. So I'll continue to give Holmes a try every time he comes out with something new. I check it out. If it's something that I can use or something I think I need, I'll pick one up because I love to support, again, a Missouri guy and a small business, but I'm not convinced on the Holmes 2-in-1. So I mean, I think it'll turn out to be a great trail truck motor. So I'm not concerned about it, in this application. But if I was going to throw it in Sky Knight, I think I'd get real frustrated with it real quick because I'm used to that Hobbywing Fusion SE in him, and it has wicked drag brake and it is super smooth at startup. Doesn't jump around at all at startup. So anyway, I guess that's this guy for the most part. I do have some other tires and wheels. that we might end up going with. So those would look pretty good. These are hunks on Team Revolt. I think he calls them Slonsky inserts. So they're 3D printed. My only hesitation about putting these on there is I think those inserts might be a little too soft. I had these made for Sky Knight at like 5 pounds, and he's like 7.5 pounds. So I think they'll just squish out and probably not be all that great. So I'm making another set of inserts made up. They're made for a little bit heavier rig, but I don't know. We will see. But yeah, these were not made up for Sky Knight. These were made up for sport. So I think they're made for a 6.5 pound rig. And he's 7.5. So I still think he's going to be too heavy. So, but we will see. There's the body. He looks good. Boy, setting the OD endpoints and setting the dig actually was pretty easy. I set the dig first. I smoked this servo. This is not the first servo that's been in that position. I smoked the first one. I mean, just right out of the gate. I turned the endpoints way down and plugged everything in, and I just randomly started working on the dig servo first as far as setting the endpoints. And I didn't think about it. I was probably a minute and a half into setting this one, and I was getting real close. I was like, yeah, that's just about perfect. And I looked at this one and saw the smoke trail coming out, and I was like, oh no. So I reached down and touched it. I mean, you couldn't even put your fingers on it. It was so hot. So we smoked that one before it even had made its first shift. So I don't know what I did. I didn't zero it out. I didn't connect it to power and let it find center, which you should always do with a servo. But and I realized so I did it to this one. I did it to the winch. I always do that, right? Somehow I forgot to do it on this guy, and just attach this horn, put him in place, turned everything on. He didn't make any crazy noises. I didn't hear it move or see it move, but it must have just been pinned trying to pull to zero. So anyway, smoked it, threw it in the trash can, ordered another one. I mean, there's $17, so it's not like the end of the world. I would have been really upset because I actually had two more expensive servos like lined out for this, and I thought, let's just buy the cheapies and see if they work, because I can use those other servos and other builds, So I'm glad I did that, because I didn't smoke a $100 servo because I screwed up. But anyway, I finally I got this one set. I got a new one. I zeroed it before I put it in place, and then I turned the endpoints down to 1, and then slowly cranked them up. And it's fiddly. It's like real fiddly to get, because there's a neutral in the middle of the OD, right? You go to little OD is forward, big OD is to the back. In the middle, there is a way, and I think you can set it up as a 3-position switch, and have a neutral. Now, I don't know what you're going to do with a neutral, unless you're like pulling it, like towing it or something. But I guess you can do that. I don't know why you would want to, but it seems like it's an option. So it's fiddly to get it fully engaged in little OD, and then fully engaged in big OD, and with a dig, because it's kind of two sides of that transmission, and there's dogs on either shaft that's outside the center shaft. So it is a little fiddly. I got dig set up. pretty quickly, and I have not touched the endpoints on the dig servo, and it works every time. I've never had dig not engage fully, never had it not come out of dig whenever I wanted it to. But the OD side has been super fiddly. Um, and I finally thought I had it set and everything was good. And then the servo was getting hot. So I backed it off on the little OD side, I think 5, so say it was at, I think it was at 50. I backed down to 45. Now it doesn't warm. It's not even warm after several minutes of sitting. So I think I finally got that correct, but remains to be seen. We'll run it. I just completed the RC driver on Scaletra, did a 555 challenge. So I just completed that with the Honey Badger, the Exo Cage Trail X. And I found a good new trail to take them on. I found, so in Missouri, you are not allowed to drive these things on conservation area property, which is unfortunate because there's a bunch of conservation areas around. And you are not allowed to drive them in most state parks. I think there are a couple state parks that allow it, like Elephant Rocks and a couple of places that would make the most sense. But like the ones that are close to me, they don't allow them on trails. So, but I did find out that in Mark Twain National Forest, which I also have some Mark Twain National Forest pretty close, you can drive them on any numbered road. So, and the numbered roads, the Forest Service roads, are pretty rugged. So they actually work out pretty well for trailing these guys. So I found one of those. It was about the right length. It's a 5K, so it was 3.1 miles or whatever. So this particular road that I found is basically right at 1.5 miles out and 1.5 miles back, so it works out well. It's pretty lot up and down, so I got a little bit of a workout chasing them up and down those hills, but it was a good time. Some creeks in the lower parts of the hollers that you go through, so that was cool. Got some cool footage of him fording some creeks. Went deep this time. Went like over the hood with Trail X or Honey Badger. So the box that I put in there, all the stuff that I did to waterproof it definitely works. Definitely works. So, but I'm a little torn right now. I think because I have been completing those Scaletra challenges in twos, right? So I complete it with Trail X and then I complete it with Sport. And I want to continue to do that. So I think probably tomorrow I'm going to go take Sport and do the 555 RC driver challenge on Scaletra with him on that same trail that I took Trail X on. And then this guy's got to get his maiden voyage, though. And with the fiddliness that I've had with these servos, what I don't want to happen is to be 1.5 miles back on this trail down in a big holler and have to pick him up and carry him because something doesn't survive. So, and it's not Vanquish. It's me, because I'm the one that set these endpoints and I'm the one who's new to this, shiftable overdrive and shiftable dig. And I've never done any of that kind of stuff before. Never had a truck with dig. Never had a truck with a selective overdrive. Never had a 2-speed, right? I've never had any of this stuff. It's been just basically steering servos and ESCs, right? And winches. That's it. And lights. I never did anything else mechanically with them. They were just single speed, 4-wheel drive, simple steering servo and ESC and motor, and off you go, right? So that's what I'm a little nervous about. So I think what I'm going to do with this guy for his maiden voyage is I'm going to find another, and there's several of them around here. There's actually quite a few. So I think I'm going to find another Forest Service road in a different part of Mark Twain National Forest and figure one that's a little shorter, maybe one that's a little less elevation change. The one I did with Trail X, I think, was 560 feet of elevation change over 1.5 miles. So there's a lot up and down. But I'm gonna I'm gonna do some exploring with the Phoenix. I think I'm gonna find um, some different roads, some different Forest Service roads, and Mark Twain, and explore those with him. I want to get him out there, get him. If I can get 3 to 5 miles on him with no issues, I'll feel pretty good about the fact that he's kind of good to go as far as a trail truck, and he's not going to burn out servos and go into neutral, and I can't get him to move or something crazy, which is my fear, which might happen, but we'll see. Um, but the idea behind this one is this is um, going to be the wife's trail rig. If I can talk her into doing some trailing with me, she likes red. She likes sparkly, which is why he's red and sparkly. And I don't mind it. So if it ends up just being another one of my trail trucks and she doesn't really take to trailing, then um, you know I won't be upset about driving him around. So, but I want to take him out, drive him again 3 to 5 miles at least, put on him because what I don't want to happen is for her to go out for the first time trailing with me and her truck breaks down and then we've got to carry it or something silly, right? So that's the idea behind this guy. I've got a whole build series on it too. I've been building them over the past month or so, on and off, just as I had time. And I think there's 15 videos in the series, which is, I know, ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous. But it took me a while. There were some things that I had never done on 10 scale crawlers with this guy. So it took me a little bit of figuring things out. And the kit is amazing. The kit is, I mean, it's Vanquish. So obviously it's super high quality. The plastics are great. Everything's great. Got no complaints at all. But it took me a bit to get it put together. And I couldn't, I just couldn't sit down and just like build for hours at a time. So I would get about an hour at a time. And then I pieced a bunch of the videos together, and then I split some of them apart because they were kind of different topics. But anyway, yeah, it's 15 videos, which is ridiculous to build one kit, and you got guys that are doing it in a live stream. They build the whole thing in a live stream. So I don't know. I guess I'm milking it. So, um, but anyway, we're going to do some, so we're going to have more 24 scale tire tests. I still got a bunch of those coming. Then we've got a big build series on this guy. We've got some trailing that's going to come up, kind of in between, mixed in there. I may throw sports trail, the 555 challenge, like put him a little bit out of order and actually have his video come out before Trail X's. I don't know. I need to break up the Fordyce, the Phoenix build series a little bit, I think, because I think people are going to get sick of it when it's 15 videos long. So, but anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So shout out to, I don't know who's still on here, but Tilted Tomsky, thanks for joining. I appreciate it, man. I've been watching your videos. I love what you're doing. I wish I could catch the live streams more often, but they just pop up. Same with me. I just pop up on live streams when I can. Team Boogie, good to see you, man. Glad you're here. I think we're about to close this one out. I did want to shout out Sawtooth Crawler. He makes some fantastic videos, and he shouted me out, so I'm trying to do the same. I really appreciate it, and he makes some really, really cool videos. I mean, they're like cinematic. They're just beautifully filmed, and he's in a beautiful location, so it's really, really some cool videos. Who else? I mean, gosh, there's so many guys that have come on, and like you, Team Boogie, jump on and comment, and I appreciate all of it. So we're gonna keep on keeping on. We'll crank out some more content, and I think that's gonna be it for this one. So if you join, I really appreciate it. How many miles on Trail X? Let me pull out Scale Truck, because I don't want to lie to you. On Trail X, we have 7.96, so 8 miles, right at 8 miles on Trail X. Sport has, Sport has 3.5 miles on him, so he'll get another 3. So he'll have 7 ish. Probably, I think Trail X is just a little bit ahead of Sport on Scaletra. Now that's on Scaletra. In real life, Sport is way ahead of Trail X because I just got Scaletra. I mean, I've probably got 20 miles on Sport, maybe more than that. But I've had him for a long time. So you got to get Trail X out and drive him. I mean, I love Trail X. Let me grab it. So I don't know what you're doing with yours, but the Trail X is a fantastic crawler, and I think you could probably, the 1800 kV. Yeah, it's all. I mean, it's basically stock, but I did do a bunch of modifications. So obviously, this is a Warlord instead of the, what is it called? Not the Anvil. I don't remember what the body that comes with was called. But anyway, so I changed the wheels and tires because I like these wheels better, and I didn't love. Okay, so the what are they called? The razor wires. The razor wires that come on are great tires. If you're going to, if you're going to just rock crawl it, I think those tires and inserts are great. They're super sticky. They're super soft. You're going to get a ton of traction, a ton of forward drive. I think they're probably great. I'm not doing that. I'm running trails, running through water, and single stage foams are no good for me because they're going to get wet, they're going to stink, they're going to break down. So I'm running Crawler Canyon Customs inside rock blocks on these wheels. These are just cheap Amazon wheels with some cheap Amazon bead rings. I did move it to behind the axle, so it's behind the axle steering, which the bracket's included. When you get the Trail X, they give you the bracket for this. So if you want to do this, it's a super simple swap over. I added the winch because I like winches on my trail trucks. Just a weird thing that I do. I put this bumper on so that I could get a Fairlead and a light bar because I like lights on them as well. And then probably the biggest thing that I did, so this is massive, nasty wires, is all so he's got rock lights, he's got headlight and tail lights, and he's got a light bar, and he's got the winch. So that's what that big, nasty rat's nest of wires is. But the biggest change that I did was this box. So when you get, when you get it, your receiver is just out there in the open. And I had him over the hood this past time I took him out. He was like submarined. It's cool. There's a video. I'm gonna do some shorts of it, but it was cool, and he took it like a champ. So when you get these, you also get a little plate that goes on top of your Mias transmission, right? So I took that and double-sided taped a piece of Kydex to it, and the Kydex is shaped like an L, so it gave me enough room to get this box. Now, you can get smaller boxes than this, and if you don't have all these lights and all this junk that I put on here, you could get away with a real small receiver box. But if you put a receiver box on here and seal it up and put your receiver in there, then you can drive it wherever. You know what I mean? You can drive it through because the motor is waterproof. I did change the servo too. So the servo is now, I think it's that DS Servo 55 kg, and it's waterproof. But if you put any, pick a waterproof steering servo, doesn't matter which one, throw your receiver box in here, and you're good to go. So, he's crazy capable. And I think if you just wanted to rock crawl, like I think somebody who could, which I can't drive these things very well, somebody who could drive, I think could buy a Trail X and leave it completely stock as they got it and probably go win local comps with it. I mean, it's that good. It's a damn good truck. The Mias axles, the breakover's good. Yeah, it's a good truck. And I think for the price that he's charging for these things, I don't think you can get a better RTR. I don't think you can get more for your money in RTR form than an Exo Cage Trail X. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I think about it. And if you waterproof your receiver, it's a fantastic trail truck, just super fun. Goes anywhere, goes anywhere. So the only thing I don't like about Trail X when I'm trailing is, and I mean, I don't like it because I don't have to think about it when I'm driving Sport or one of the other trucks. But because these axles hang out past the body, right? I will get little saplings and I'll run them right in there, and he'll get hung and like spin around in a circle. Um, I mean, they're pretty big saplings actually. Pretty so a little sapling he just knock it over, but a big sapling they I run up against them and they get hooked right in there, and they and they hook on the axle because I'm dumb and I'm not paying attention. That's the only thing that frustrates me a little bit about Trail X. If I'm in an area of the forest that's like that, he will throw that hook out there and hook something, which is a little bit annoying. But man, other than that, dude, I love this truck. This is my trail truck. This is the guy. So, and he's got 8 miles on him now. Just put another 3 on, so he had 5. And I'll put probably, I don't know, 8 to 10 a month, hopefully. I mean, I would hope to put 8 to 10 a month on. Yeah, well, probably more like 3 to 5. Say 3 to 5 a month. So, oh yeah, the shocks. Yeah. So these are Chav Techs, and I don't think it's out yet, but I do have a video on these. So, Sky Knight, my rock crawler, my dedicated rock crawler, has Drav Techs made by Deluxe. They're very expensive. They are a bladdered shock. So, like the shocks that come on this guy are emulsion shocks. So there's no bladder. So the air and the oil just kind of mix together in those, like a Traxxas GTS or the Incisions that are on that Phoenix. Same thing. Those are emulsion shocks. There's a bladdered shock, so it's a little different in that fashion. But these are like, I mean, you get them on Amazon. They're not expensive, but you do have to rebuild them. So when you get them, the seals are junk and the springs are no good. So you got to throw all that stuff away. And then I just order all the parts from Deluxe. Basically, they've got rebuild kits, they've got springs, and they've got pistons, and they've got bladders. So I order all that stuff from Deluxe, and I rebuild them. So you basically just getting the bodies and the shock shafts and the caps is all you really get when you order these things from Amazon. The springs on these, he is the light. He's the soft. So the Deluxe soft. They've got an ultra soft, a soft, medium, and a hard, I think. The ultra softs were too soft, so this is a soft. And then I think I've got one of them here that's running mediums. I'm trying to remember. So it's GTS on Crash and Sport. I just built them up. That's right. So I built them up. So I have a set with mediums on it that I was thinking about putting on the Phoenix, but the Phoenix has got 85 millimeter shocks, which I didn't realize. So all the Chavs that I have are 90s because every other truck that I have runs 90s, and I just assumed that the Phoenix was going to run 90s without really thinking about it or looking. So, but yeah, these are Incisions. These are the ones that came on the kit, and these have the new plastics. I just got this kit, so it's a 2026 kit. I just got this kit. They come with the new plastics, so the all the plastics are the gray, the better plastics, and it's got the new seals in them too because they don't leak at all. They have not leaked yet. And when I put together Sky Knight, these are bone dry in the shock cups, so they do not leak, at least not yet. Now we put 35 miles on them, maybe we'll see. But Sky Knight, I put together his Incision shocks, and the cups were full of oil like overnight. I built them, put them on, set the truck on the shelf, came back the next morning, and there were puddles under all four corners of that truck. They leaked immediately. Didn't even drive it, didn't even work them. I just bolted them on, set it on the shelf. Puddles underneath the next morning. They leaked immediately. Now, I complained to Vanquish about it, and they sent me new plastics and new seals, and I put those in, and now they're great. I still don't have them on a truck yet. I built them and then ran them on Skynight for about, I don't know, a couple hours maybe, no leaks at all, just to verify they didn't leak. And then I took them off, put them in a bag because I got the deluxes for them. So I put them in a bag. They're still in a bag up there. So I'll put them on another build. But yeah, the old Incision shocks were absolute junk. I'm sure there was a way to fix them. I'm sure somebody knew which Traxxas seals to buy to put in them or something, but I didn't. So I was pretty upset. I mean, that's an expensive truck to have, shocks that leak without even being driven. I mean, they just sat there and leaked. It was ridiculous. But they did. They fixed me up. Whenever I complained, they sent out the new seals and the new plastic. So I can't be too mad at them. But it looks like in the new Vanquish kits, they're sending you the updated stuff so that your shocks won't leak right out of the bag, which is cool. So, all right. Well, thanks for hanging out, Team Boogie and Tilt Tomsky. Really appreciate it, everybody. I got to get off here. We've been going for about an hour. So I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.